Everybody, welcome to another episode of Cow Daily after our short hiatus of last week. Still got a couple out, but never mind. Back again. Today, we're just looking to do like a test of the new studio. As you can see, the camera, this will not mean anything to you, but I'm trying to work out all the camera angle thing and the sound and all of that and the lighting. And I'm looking at it. It's not the greatest, but the sound's recording well, I think. I can see it on me module down the bottom there, so should be all right. When you I can see you're starting to pop up in the comments already. If you could let us know sort of just anything that I might not be saying, that'd be really appreciated. We are going to do a show of sorts today. As I say, I'm checking the internet, I'm checking this, that, and the third. Anybody who's set up any kind of like place to record audio and visuals, you will know that once you've taken a studio down and then you set it back up, it's all those little tweaks that you're going to probably spend the next few days doing. So today is very much about that for me. Also, as well, we've got a little bit about Keir Starmer, Sue Gray, Boris Johnson, how all that links together, and a few other more light-hearted bits. Well, stuff that I consider light-hearted, but I'm dark. I'm a dark individual, so it might not be that, because I say some like dark stuff, humor stuff to my partner, and she just looks at us sometimes like, "What are you? What are you?" I don't even know myself. So anyway, the Have a Nice Day earworm rages on, and there should be like grounds for an appeal at the court of the earworm at this point. I mean, how long? How long does an earworm last? 3 weeks, something like that. And one of the reasons I'm recording this as well, it's like the ambient noise around you. It's like setting like I think through the wall is where a baby sleeps, and I'm hearing like, yeah, I've just heard it again. I don't know if you can pick it up. Well, that's sod's law, that isn't it? That it's happening now. But let's like run with it, because sometimes it adds a bit to things if we have to kill it because of a. I'm whispering now because of the bear asleep next door. It's not really what you want when you're going to rage against the machine, isn't it? Rockabye baby, Starmer's a cunt. It doesn't work, does it? Sorry, it's 2 minutes 30. Starmer's a bit nasty lad. He's not the best. He'll shag it, allegedly. I don't even know if that's been alleged. It just rhymes, but they're litigious. So, what are you gonna do? What I'm noticing, which means now to you, is I'm being like blinded by light, and I've got too much light from over here, and I've got too much from over here, so I need to change that. So thanks for being here while I do all this. I promise you there'll be some entertainment along soon. Anyway, while we're here, go to patreon.com/cowdaily. That's patreon.com/cowdaily. That dazzle from the screen is really making it hard to read this, but I've done it that many times. It's patreon.com/cowdaily if you want to support our work on a regular basis. Also, if you want to support our work via a one-off PayPal donation, please go to the link in the description for PayPal. It's always massively appreciated, and just gives us a little jump of positivity and hope every time my phone dings and there's a new patron or somebody via PayPal has believed in us enough to contribute to our work. It's lush. So thanks. One other thing I've noticed, my camera angle keeps changing. I don't know if I put my hand up there. Does anybody know to stop that happening? Right, anyway. Entertaining as hell. What we're going to do is I'm going to go to the slides here. Read this. This is something I wrote 16 hours ago, it says here, probably 17 now. Sue Gray has been appointed Starmer's Chief of Staff. This is because another own goal for the right-wing Labour Party. This screen is dazzling me to hell here. This is another own goal for the right-wing Labour Party. Tell you what I'm going to do, since it's a test. I'm just going to pull this curtain shut, because it's a work in progress. Hold on. Whoa. That's slightly better. Right. So anyway, back to this. Sue Gray has been appointed Starmer's Chief of Staff. This is another own goal for the right-wing Labour Party, because when Boris Johnson makes his move openly for the Tory leadership, he will quite rightly point out that the report which precipitated a vote of no confidence in a sitting Prime Minister him now finds its author, the chief of staff of the opposition party's leader. The conspiracy wing of Johnson's base will be in a frenzy and not without some basis, and this is likely to galvanize them around his leadership. Bannon had Trump doing this kind of thing, kind of play multiple times. People run the Labour Party really aren't very clever, are they? And we accentuate this by talking as a Dalek, possibly the leader, Davros. So anyway, GB News. I'm going to play this video in a minute, but this is Patrick Christie. Oh, no, it's not. It's Dan Wootton, all the same, to be fair. I can't, I'm not going to pussyfoot around, right? I absolutely hate this fucker. Like, I'm trying to be all like, let's love everybody. I don't. And that's something that I feel is massively toxic, to just kind of be all like, oh, well, we've got to just see the best in everybody. Watch what I'm about to play and try and see the best in this rotter. Anyway, this is what GB News tweeted out. Boris Johnson was the victim of a socialist stitch-up. Firstly, the Labour Party isn't a socialist party. It's a right-wing party. These ghouls know this, though, but they're doing a very, very, subtle twist for their conspiracy-addled base, but not very subtle for anybody paying attention. So the Labour Party had a secret agent working for them all along, and that secret agent was Partygate investigator, so-called independent civil servant Sue Gray. Before we play the video, I'd like that to go to court, and I think what the reason being is, and obviously I've got no love for Labour or Starmer, that is potentially litigious. I mean, they're saying there's a secret agent working for the Labour Party. That is not just, I mean, look, I know the Labour Party have completely done everything they can to mess with democracy, but if they like claim they're the party of like truth and whatever, which is absolutely crazy, then they'll sue this fucker and they'll sue GB News, because that is, if it's baseless, deserves to be sued, not just on their basis, but on the like for democracy. But anyway, let us play the actual video itself and see what's going on. I'm going to probably stop and start it a wee bit from time to time, but you'll see why. This is Dan Wootton on GBBs. Right, I'm just going to cut in at this point, if you'll bear with us. Sue Gray, and this is true, is known as Tory Sue in the civil service. So these people will know this, right? Like the Dan Wootons and that, and it's why there's that like little pause. Red Sue. They're making it very clear to their base, the conspiranoids and nanas and Rajis who watch this, who are like very much primed to sort of the buzzwords. So it's like the Reds, the socialists, the left. And I mean, like these people have repeated often enough that working class people are like turkeys voting for Christmas. But there's an extra layer to it as well. These people know that the Labour Party are not anything other than a right wing party. But yet, that using all of those same terms that they use directed towards Corbyn on Starmer, which I think is like an excellent bucket of Schadenfreude for people like us who are paying attention, you and I. But not so great when you look at it from the version of reality or the reality tunnel that the average GB News viewer or listener, if they listen to the podcast, are spitting out. I mean, a lot of it is like straight up lies, like fully lies. Oh, that baby next door is crying. How terrible. What am I going to do? Talk about Dan Wootton still? Yes, that's what I'm going to do. So basically, they're calling that Red Sue when within the civil service is called Tory Sue. And I think that should say be a bit pause for thought for people who are giving it this whole Tory enablers carry on. I mean, I know you're acting in bad faith as well, so I don't really care. But there's a lot of people who are, you know, to be fair to them, they don't have time to keep abreast of this stuff. So they're going to just like sort of, if they're from the GB News perspective, they're going to be like, yeah, they're all like the socialists who link in with Soros and they all want to die in these 15-minute cities or something. So that's been like labeled upon the Starmer faction of the establishment as Dan Wootton goes ride or die for the Boris Johnson faction. E on the lush. So let's carry on with this. 2 seconds, pals. We're off. The baby continues to cry.
The best secret agents just melt into the background, that they seem unassuming. Well, firstly, she's called Sue Gray, which is the name you'd expect a librarian to have, or the woman in the village who bakes Victoria sponges for her neighbours. But if we dig a little bit deeper into who Sue Gray really is, you see that this was a left-wing coup all along. And mark my words, this is a bigger scandal than Partygate. Sue Gray has family ties to the Labour Party. Her son, Liam Conlon, was the chair of the Labour Party's Irish branch, a group that hosted Sir Keir Starmer for a talk and a Q&A session. Oh, lovely Liam even brought his mum along to meet Labour politicians in Parliament. And who did Sue Gray use for legal advice on Partygate? Well, an EU-loving, Ramoniac, Boris-hating, Labour-loving lawyer by the name of Daniel Stillitz, KC. He was literally a card-carrying Labour Party member. He tweeted a plea for people to sign up to the Labour Party, supported a second referendum, and absolutely slated Boris Johnson. He was the only external lawyer consulted by Sue Gray as she wrote her Partygate report. This guy literally tweeted, "Why not join Labour? Now seems as good a time as any." Clearly, he accidentally tweeted that. He must have actually meant to text that to Sue Gray directly. I mean, this is an absolute joke. They even tried to cover up the supposedly impartial Sue Gray's Labour-leaning tendencies. A friend of Sue Gray said, "They are trying to make out that she's a Labour person, and it's absolute crap." Who is that friend, Sue? Lenin? Tony Blair? Sue, you're surrounded by Labour Party supporters. Your son is a Labour Party simp. You were advised by a Labour Party fanatic lawyer, and now that you've managed to stitch up one of the most popular prime ministers of all time, you've just gone and joined the Labour Party.
Right, so, I mean, you can see how they pulled together all these disparate links, and also thanks to everybody for letting us that the video wasn't actually playing. I appreciate that. Obviously, it's the test, and I'm trying to work out this new studio carry on, but on we go. So as we can see there with the like, it's just propaganda, isn't it? You know what it reminds us of? Have you seen the film V for Vendetta? Norsefire TV, I think it's called, where they're just there doing this, and these are horrible people. Look at them wearing their masks. And it might as well just be the left, socialists, like whoever you want. And it's the same from time immemorial with like horrifying fash like these, because that's what they are. Like, this is like fash TV. Look into the funders of GB News. This is weird, right? Because we get people like on our social media all the time, and they're spouting the same shit, and they think that we don't watch it or something. Or I think that maybe they think that they're not absorbing these like really short, snappy talking points as their own opinions. Because guess what? How you can litmus test that? Just ask them. Just ask a person, what does woke mean? People can't break it down generally, or they come up with like a completely different answer to the next person. A lot of it is like Brexit. Everybody's got their different version of Brexit. It's like England. Everybody's got their different version of England, and it's based on their own reality tunnels. And these things regarding GB News create these reality tunnels, and quite a lot of people will just jump into that, and then that's their opinions verbatim. I mean, you want to see some of these things that are going on about 15-minute cities and that. Listen, me and one of my pals, right? We used to work within sustainable transport. We were buckled laughing at like the conspiracy theories around 15-minute cities in the World Economic Forum. I'll probably do something where we'll break this down as to why, right? 15-minute cities, though, however, are a great idea. Like, that, what's not going to happen is, as these conspiracy theorists claim, and it's even been broadcast on GB News, where is Ofcom? Like, where is Ofcom in all of this, man? Absolutely toothless and ridiculous. Spreading this level of information, the independent regulator Impress is like, they're far more likely to do something in terms of information than like Ofcom and and. In fact, independent media such as ourselves are regulated to a higher standard than these Muppets. Work that one out. All the money and whatever behind these people. And they're coming out with this conspiracy theory because that's what it is. And it wasn't just them. Right-wing media form like Voltron, the Daily Mail. Is this proof the Partygate probe was a Labour plot? Front page of the Daily Mail, question mark. And they're getting away with it with the question mark. Subheadings, outrageous Sue Gray accepts plum job with Starmer. Boris allies say validity of her number 10 inquiry is destroyed. Ex-PM shocked and disgusted as angry Tories ask, is this proof the Partygate probe was a Labour plot? No. There you go. No. As it stands, no. But you can absolutely see how politically illiterate this is from Starmer. And, well, not even Starmer, because he's basically a puppet for Mandelson and Blair, it seems. Mandelson being one of his advisors and Blair basically collaring him at the World Economic Forum and saying, move against Corbyn now. So who's running things? And I remember the 90s as well. People going on like these people were absolutely galaxy brain and all that. Guess what? There was a fair win that got them elected in the way that they did. And after that, they had some really favourable economic conditions, which they could have done so much more in terms of restructuring the country. But they just decided to be like Dark Lords of the Sith instead. And as we can see, nothing that they did was built on anything but sand. It's fucking facts, isn't it? And at the same time, austerity from a large part where I'm from in the northeast of England and maybe where you're from too, it was austerity before austerity was even a thing. But before, and what I mean by that is Cameron and austerity and the big society and all that. We've had austerity going back to the 70s and beyond, man. So if you want to know why Brexit happened and whatever, I mean, we've said many times, but you probably want to look into how poverty affects people's decision making and how easy they are to be manipulated by the likes of the Patrick Christies and whatnot. So reason I brought that up today is I've maintained for a long time, as you know, pretty much just after he got off, that Boris Johnson was at least going to make another play for the leadership. And I would suggest, given that his talking heads and his faction of the establishment are on that, and they were on that within the hour of us writing that thing yesterday, I would strongly suggest that that's going to start coming. I did say the other day that I thought Sunak and the Brexit deal with NI would be an open goal for Johnson to intervene. He did that the next day. Now, I'm not saying that I'm some kind of psychic or anything. I'm not. I just pay attention. This is what I do, So hopefully you can see that everything that we do is evidenced. And shouts to oh God, man, there was some dude this morning the vile stuff you come up with that's unevidenced. I'm sure you wake up and think that. Listen, dude, everything we do is evidenced. So there's 2 for you. See you soon. So anyway, please do, if you are watching this anywhere other than the YouTube, go to youtube.com/cowdaily. Link in the description of this podcast, and you can help us monetize the channel. Excuse me, which we're very much looking forward to doing for obvious reasons. Take a couple of your comments before we crack on. Carlos is saying, just tuned in. The woke example of genuinely amusing. I had someone recently attempt to tell me the actual meaning of woke had changed. Absolute servile tool. I agree. Servile tool is indeed correct, Carlos. Zoe Jarrett, Mr. Cow strikes again. Never, ever question Mr. Cow again. Nah, it's not even it's, as I say, it's just obvious to us the way the establishment move, and I don't consider them to be that intelligent. I mean, some of them are, but you can pretty much suss them out if you just watch. And just a good way of doing it is find out who the client journalists are, right? And just watch what they're saying, because normally they'll get drip fed something. So for Keir Starmer, it's Rachel Weir's-Mouth. I think she's at the Guardian now. She was at the Mirror. Nice simp upwards. Greasy pull jives there. I use the word journalists loosely, even with client in front of it. I mean, these people are the absolute worst. And it's not just your GB News cosplay journalist. The Rachel Keir's mouths and all that, it's cosplay stuff, and they would probably counter, well, if we didn't do this, then we wouldn't get access and da-da-da. Journalism isn't about PR. It's like, you're not a PR agent. You're not trying to plant stories like fed to you. Well, you're not supposed to, because journalism's meant to be one of the checks and balances on a fully functioning society. A fully functioning society that Britain is not. And I think we can all agree on that, be we on the right or the left or anywhere in between. Nice to see some new names popping up as well. I just want to acknowledge them. Dasley, hello, brother. Nice to see you. Who else we got? Sarah Lee Campbell, hello, sister. Can't see the video. Cheers for letting me know, pal. Nice one. Zoe Jarrett saying, couldn't see the video there as well. Was in the house, maybe still is. Hello. And thank you, everybody. Jez Hunts popped up there. Nice to see you, pal. Really appreciate you popping up for the test. I'll listen to it back and see if it's worth putting out with that teeth and trouble thing with the video. But if it is, it is. If it isn't, it isn't. It was just about like seeing the screen, seeing what the lighting is, playing it back, working out the sound, getting the video right, and then cracking back on next week. Usual time from next week. As I say, might pop up over the weekend just to knock some of the ring rust off and all that cool carry-ons. Jez is saying something else. The legacy media and political class are the same people, same schools, same universities, same golf clubs, same parties. Great way as any to end it. Jez is completely right. Right, chaps, if I don't see you over the weekend, I hope to. Have a great weekend. As I say, if you want to support the work, patreon.com/cowdaily, patreon.com/cowdaily. Links in the description for one-off PayPal donations. Thanks so much. All the very best. And don't forget, you can listen back on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Please subscribe there and leave a nice review. Love, 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 love. All the love right back at yous. Bye. Have a nice weekend. Trahun, snakes and that. See yous.